So all of this was kind of happening at the same time, and I woke up one morning very early and said, you know, I'm just going to create my perfect collaborative group. So I sat down at my computer and I typed up what I thought would be my absolute ideal collaborative group and how it would meet and how it would be structured and etc. And I emailed it off to a few of my colleagues and said, so what do you think? And they were like, wow, that sounds great. So we pulled together a group of about 20 people that we thought would be interested in forming a large interdisciplinary and multi-practice area group, because we wanted to expand it beyond family law. And so when we created this formation group, what we wanted to have is people that would work hard, that would do what they say they were going to do, because the purpose of this group was just to put together this group and then would basically transition into an ongoing group, and people that had connections with other people. So our formation group met, and we put together a timeline of about 4 months before we were going to have a kickoff dinner. And we formed committees, and each committee had tasks to get ready for the kickoff. We decided to become a nonprofit, and we put that into motion. And we put together a education and training committee that started setting up speakers for the whole rest of the year. And so we did a lot of work in those 4 months to try and get the group ready to go, so that when we had our kickoff dinner, the new members joining would feel like there was something immediately for them. So we worked very hard, and we had our kickoff dinner, which we invited Pauline Tessler and Peter Sandman came and spoke, because we wanted them to talk about civil and using collaborative and civil as well as in other areas. And we actually invited a local press to come when he actually came, so that was exciting, a local columnist. And we had 110 people to our kickoff dinner, which was really exciting, because it was not just family lawyers, but civil practitioners and judges and interested people and mental health practitioners and financial people. So it was the type of practitioners that we were really interested in joining in our new group. So that became the Collaborative Council of the Redwood Empire. So the way our current group, Collaborative Council of the Redwood Empire, is structured is that we have a board of directors, that we have, I think we have 14 or 15 directors. We actually even had a contested election where there were more people running for the board than there were slots available, which was quite exciting, that there'd be that many people that were really interested in being on our board. And the board members are on rotating slots, so that we have, I think it's a half or a third of the members go off every year. So they will always have some people same and some people new. And we encourage there to be turnover, so that we have new people coming on, bringing new ideas and new energy. And we also try to recruit some of our newer practitioners. So right now we have 2 members on our board who have been practicing only a couple of years. So, and then we have members that have been practicing collaborative since it started here 10 years ago. So we have a nice range of experience. We have the different professions in the board of directors, and we've managed now to alternate our president between a lawyer and a mental health. I was the first president, then our second one, Randy Cheek, was in mental health as a coach and child specialist, and then our current president is a lawyer, and then our vice president is a mental health, and at some point we'll have a financial, I think, being our president, so we're trying to move the different professions through the officer positions. And then the past president is on the board for a year or two at their options, and then they get to move off. So I just finally came off the board this year, which is good, because then it frees me up to do other things. And I think it's really healthy to keep bringing in new people onto the board. I've heard of other groups where they've had the same leadership for a long time, and I think that creates difficulties, because I think the leaders sometimes start to lose some energy. There gets to be a feeling of stagnation and can create some problems. So it's worked really well for us to have this rotating into our board and out. And then we have all of the business of our group is done by committee. So we now have, I think, about 10 different committees. We have a public education, education and training, logistics. They take care of all of the logistics for all our meetings and trainings, which is great. So someone else doesn't have to try and figure that out. We have a case facilitation committee, which provides volunteers who help people when they're having difficulties in their cases or to do final debriefings. We have a leadership in the collaborative practice community committee, which tries to provide information to other groups that might be helpful, or to provide information about the broader community back to our group. We have a, let's see what groups, a membership committee. So we have a number of different committees, and so the work gets done in these committees. Each of the committees has a chairperson who's on the board of directors, so there's a connection between the committees and the board of directors. And then at each of our, we have monthly meetings. We have 2 monthly meetings. We have a breakfast meeting, and then we have either a lunch or dinner meeting, and that alternates each month. And at our breakfast or lunch or dinner meetings, our president always gives a report about what's happening, and then people can make announcements, or if they need to, they want to give some kind of information from a committee, they can present that. But only maybe 10 or 15 minutes of our meetings are business, which makes our meetings much more interesting, and people are more willing to come and attend them because they're going to learn something. Our breakfast meetings are usually some type of presentation given by one of our members, either an educational presentation, a case study. We might have, for example, our case facilitation committee did a presentation about the work they've been doing. So some type of educational presentation. And then our lunch and dinner meetings are usually an outside speaker. So someone coming in to provide us with information that is new to everyone. And we've had speakers from all sorts of different aspects, from various parts of the Bay Area, and sometimes even from farther away than that. So that keeps people interested in coming. It keeps us learning. It keeps us developing new skills. And I think that's really an important part of why we have been able to maintain a really healthy membership. I think this year we're close to 80 members. To give an example of some of the educational presentations that we've had at our meetings, we have had Fred Heidi was someone who went to an IACP conference and gave a talk for trainers about charisma, but we thought he was so wonderful that we would invite him to come up to our meeting, because we thought the information he provided about charisma was important both in your work as a collaborative practitioner, but also for our members who are out giving educational presentations, as well as people who might be doing training. So he came up for an evening and talked to us about charisma, which was great. We had Norman Fisher, who's a Buddhist priest, come and talk about mindfulness in conflict resolution work. And he was actually one of our best attended meetings, in which we had, I think, about 65 people that came from not only our community, but from other parts of the Bay Area to come hear him speak. In fact, we have a number of members that come from other parts of the Bay Area to join our group or to come to our meetings, because they either enjoy our group and the camaraderie, or because our educational presentations and trainings are so interesting to them. Some other examples of speakers are, we had some speakers talk about personality disorders. In fact, we've had a number of different speakers in the mental health areas talk about various aspects of mental health theory and how that gets applied in the collaborative case. So working with difficult personalities, forgiveness, so grief, dealing with grief, so a number of different areas like that. We've had some of our financial members talk about different aspects of what's happening in the economic world and how that can apply in collaborative cases, or how they can be useful in dealing with financial aspects in collaborative cases.